Sorry, I'm very surprised about some of the people, the individuals here, condemning what is going on in Lagos. Sorry, don't you guys understand what exactly is organized violence? It's destruction of properties. Lagos will have to be destroyed for Yoruba land to rise. Igbo and Fulani control your police so they kill your children. Igbo and Fulani control your military in Yoruba land, they kill your people. Igbo and Fulani control your immigration in Yoruba land, can take your money. Igbo and Fulani control your custom in Yoruba land. Igbo and Fulani control your waterways in Yoruba land. Igbo and Fulani control your seaports in Yoruba land. Igbo and Fulani, they continue to control your prisons in Yoruba land. Igbo and Fulani controls your political economy in Yoruba land. Why are you concerned about destruction that is going on in Lagos? If you do not destroy Lagos, you will never rise again. So I'm surprised some of you who call yourself conservative, you are shaking because of what is going on. It will unravel the more in the next 5 days. The destruction is necessary. The entire France was destroyed during the Second World War. Look at what it is today. It is better than the entire Yoruba land. Germany was ravaged during the Second World War, everything. Can you compare the development in Germany with what is going on in Yoruba land? The Great Fire of London destroyed the entire London. Today, can you compare the development in London with that of Lagos? During the Second World War, England was attacked. Can you compare England development with that of Yoruba? You are saying that, oh, our properties have been destroyed in Yoruba land. Yoruba land is the economic backbone of Nigeria. It's the heartland of that nation. If Lagos goes down, that is when you get to the Dua Republic. So we must ensure the destruction of Lagos. We must bring down the port. The port must not be operational again. It's going to take an average of 5 years to rebuild it. And that will be rebuilt under the Oduduwa Republic. Tinker Port must go down. Lagos International Airport must go down. All flights must be cancelled. The stock exchange must go down. You should know the impact of this. What the Igbo in Yoruba land has done is very simple. They have attacked individuals, businesses, and properties that they identify to be a stumbling block for their total takeover of Yoruba land. Tinubu is the only saving grace of the Yoruba nation that has stopped the total subjugation of Yoruba land by the Igbo and Fulani. That's why they are targeting him. They thought he owns the toll gate. They destroyed it. They destroyed TVC. They went into the Oba Palace in Lagos and burned it down. Igbo coordinated all of these things. It is actually good. We're going to chase them out of Yoruba land. So the destruction of Lagos is great. Don't forget, that has always been the purview of the YY. Lagos is the battleground. It must be destroyed. Look at New York today. The American Civil War destroyed the entire New York. It's a very great country today. It has been rebuilt. Look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. They were destroyed even by atomic bomb. Today, these two cities are better than any cities across Yoruba land. So why are you shaking? Why are you being emotional? Why are you being irresponsible? Why are you doubting the focus? We knew what would be the end from day one. Everything that has to do with this protest has the script of the YY. Our footprints are there. We're going to get to the Yoruba Republic. We've been telling you, don't doubt this. Sanwo-Olu, when he assumed the position of the governor of Lagos State, he said, if Lagos goes down, Nigeria goes down. Lagos must be destroyed. It is our scripts. And we will rebuild this when we have our own nation, Oduduwa Republic.
So can you help me to share this?
To make sure that this protest continues until we achieve our aims. We are waiting for the leadership of the Yoruba. They are meeting the Yoruba traditional leaders, the Yoruba political leaders. We have seen the action of the Igbo. We have seen the action of the Yoruba leaders. What you don't understand is this is a coordinated action. The Igbo and the Fulani are scared of Tinubu presidency. They are aware that he's the only man that can destroy and break Nigeria. So this is the game plan. For the military to remove Buhari, to pretend to the world that a Fulani man has been removed from power. So another Fulani will address the people in Nigeria as the new head of state. So he will promise to return power back in 6 months, then extend it to 12 months, and he will then ban all old politicians targeted at Tinubu not to contest. So they will give you a compromised Yoruba citizen. Tinubu Camps knows this game. He's the Capone, the godfather. Everybody knows this game, except stupid, gullible Yoruba Libra. We will open the next phase. We will open it over the weekend. So it is to the glory of Eledumare, and it is to the greatness of Yoruba land that we destroy Lagos now so that we can get to the Dua Republic and we will rebuild it. In 10 years' time, Yoruba land will have been a great place to live. Cheers.
You guys kindly help me to share this. We can only broadcast via YouTube because all our channels, particularly all our Facebook accounts and profile, as well as pages, have all been blocked. It has been a coordinated attack from the Igbo. So you help to share this while we take the Yoruba national anthem. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. We cannot broadcast from any of our platforms because Igbo have shut down all our Facebook accounts, including my own, and then the pages and profiles of the Young Yoruba for Freedoms and a number of our executive members. So we can only broadcast live to you via YouTube. So it will be kind of you to help to share this. And this is going to be a daily briefings until the end of this year. I will be out dailies and other members of YYF to give you informations and instructions as regards the attack on Yoruba land and then the ongoing NSAS protests. Strangers among us are destroying us. So, guys, together we can stop this. We can stop this. The NSAS protests and crocodile smile are the plans of the Igbo and the Hausa Fulani, supported by the English establishment, for a military takeover of Nigeria. The plan of the Igbo and the Fulani for a military takeover is to remove Mr. Buhari as the president of Nigeria. A Fulani will now declare himself as the head of state of Nigeria. He will then proscribe all political parties in Nigeria and ban all old politicians from contesting for election. This is the plans of the Igbo and the Fulani, I have told you, supported by the English. They have never desired for a Yoruba, full-blooded Yoruba citizen, to be president of Nigeria. They know that only a full-blooded Yoruba citizen will either devolve power back to the ethnic regions or break up Nigeria if the Igbo and Fulani continue to refuse the parliamentary system of government based on regional government that we agreed to in 1959 before Nigeria independence on the 1st of October 1960. That is the game plans of the Igbo. This is targeted at Tinubu, as the Igbo, the Fulani, and the English establishment are concerned about the prospect of Tinubu becoming the president of Nigeria. We have said this much to you from day one. If you remember, since 2014, I have been in disagreement with Tinubu that we should not allow Fulani to take power. If you remember, we've been saying that Fulani will never allow a full-blooded Yoruba to take the presidency of Nigeria. Whoever controls the president of Nigeria will control the gun, will control the state, and you use the gun with the state to control other ethnic groups. The Fulani don't want the Yoruba to get this. So that is their plan. Now you think that the Buhari himself doesn't care? Yes. You remember what happened to Shagari in 1984. Shagari with Alex Ekweme, their coalition government, Igbo and Fulani, remains the most corrupt government in the history of Nigeria to today. Shagari, a Fulani, was then informed that Buhari, a Fulani in the military, is planning a coup. Shagari answered that as long as the leader of the coup planner is Fulani, it doesn't care. So that is the game that this current Buhari is playing. Is part of it. The intention is for a military to take over. Why is it that they wanted a military to take over? Like I told you, they realized that head or tail, Tinubu will get the APC presidential ticket. And then he might win the presidency of Nigeria from 2023. So this is how they plan this. A military man, a Fulani, will take over. He will promise a return to democracy within 6 months. He will talk nonsense about corruption. He will talk shit about Nigeria political leaders. He will condemn Tinubu personally. He will condemn other Fulani. It's the same old script written by the irresponsible, useless English establishment. The target is the continuation and subjugation of the Yoruba nation. The target is your port. The target is your waterways. The target is your custom. The target is your police. The target is your military. The target is the control of the political economy of the Yoruba nation. These guys have enjoyed this. I told you they will never give up unless we go to war via organized violence and the use of chemical weapons. The military guy will come in, a Fulani, he will promise you a return to democracy in 6 months. He will then increase it to 12 months. The horrible English establishment will come in through their propaganda machinery. And I told you that BBC Yoruba is a system that we have to shut down in Yoruba. They are using it too much propaganda on you. Look at how they have bamboozled you over with propaganda, commonly from the criminally minded Igbo, from the shit hell, not shit hole of a region. Look at how they bamboozle you with propaganda. So what if the English propaganda started? That's why we keep saying that the Yoruba society is an illiterate society. That has been their game plan. So they will want to give you another compromised Yoruba citizen. They have Yoruba, or even the coalition government of Igbo and Fulani. Folks, if you don't think we are at war, you are foolish. Now, let me tell you how this game plans of the Fulani military takeover and the Igbo started. In March 2018, Ike Ekerimandu is an Igbo man. He was the then Deputy Senate President in the Senate, the National Assembly. This is what is stated at the National Assembly. He said, the problem of Nigeria is that our democracy is receding. Who says army cannot take over? Let us not joke with our democracy. The comment of Ikerimandu is the small skin of the plan of the Igbo and the minority Fulani to stop any full-blooded Yoruba citizen, particularly Tinubu, from taking over the presidency of Nigeria from 2023. It is a plan, a deliberate plan of the Igbo and Fulani. Let me now go on to the ongoing protests in Lagos and across Yoruba land, which we call EndSARS, or End Police Brutality. It is beyond EndSARS or End Police Brutality. I will give you full details of the people behind this. You might recollect that on Thursday, 8th of October, 2020, EndSARS protests started across Yoruba land. This was after weeks of outcry and anger, with videos and pictures showing police brutality, harassment, and extortions of people in Yoruba land. There is no police brutality in Hausa Fulani land. There is no police brutality in Kanuri land. The police brutality in the middle belt of Nigeria is not significant. The police brutality in Igbo land is minutest. The police brutality in the South is not pronounced. But in Yoruba land, police brutality has been going on for years. 15 years ago, SARS officials who were non-Yoruba, who were Igbo and Fulani, shot and killed my brother. This has been ongoing for years. Police brutality is well active and pronounced across Yoruba land. So on Thursday, 8th of October, the EndSARS protest started across the Yoruba nation. Folks, but this is it. 4 days before the EndSARS protest began, the following Igbo, along with half Yoruba citizen, working with the minority Fulani, met at Kulos Club, Kulos Club in Victoria Island. Who were these Igbo people with half Yoruba working for the Fulani? They are, number 1, Banky W. Number 2, Root Boy of Peace Square. Number 3, Deji Adeyanju. Number 4, DJ Biggie. DJ Biggie works with Don Jazzy. Number 5 is Babatunde Badamosi, who has become an irritant, a complete irresponsible Yoruba citizen who has been hobnobbing with the Igbo for many years. He thinks he can amount to anything politically in Lagos. He will not even be able to win the chairmanship of the local government area where he has his Amen estate. He has been acted very, very irresponsibly for many years. I think at this moment in time, he should be visited by the conservative in Lagos. The other people who met at the Curious Clubs, number 6 is Rugged Man. Number 7 is Timmy Dakolo. Number 8 is Asa Asika. Asa Asika is Davido's manager. and is also cousin to Netosi. But when they gathered at the Curious Club on Victoria Island, the owner of that club, Shinopela, who is a House of Representative member from Oyo State under the Yoruba APC, he declined them the use of Curious Club to plan the protest. This was 4 days before the protest began on the 8th of October. These Igbo and half Yoruba who were working with the minority Fulani then moved to Troy Restaurant. Troy Restaurants has been marked for destruction, guys. They moved to Troy Restaurant along Morocco facing the Lekki toll gate. Troy Restaurant is owned by Tony Sabat. Tony Sabat is a Lebanese. And the other guy who owned jointly Troy Restaurant with Tony Sabat is Rudy Carter, a half Lebanese and half Jordanian. You will recollect some months ago that we told you that the Lebanese are the people funding the Yoruba PDP. These were the guys we were referring to. Tony Sabat and Rudy Carter are PDP fans and they are financial for a long time. Folks, they provided money for the organization of NSAS, people who are not even Yoruba, people who are not even from Nigeria, and they gave weapons for this protest that has begun since 8th of October. All these Igbo that I've mentioned, who are particularly musicians and actors, all agreed to undermine the prospect of a full-blooded Yoruba citizen in the person of Tinubu from taking the presidency of Nigeria from 2023. They are not Yoruba planning evil against us in our own space. All these horrible Igbo musicians and actors, many of whom have never been to university before, many of whom are not educated, but because they can compose ridiculous song, they propped up themselves as the voice of the nation. People who have no clue about how to govern a nation. And that is the same thing that they are trying to impress on the Yoruba nation, like the African American in America, whereby you will see their musician speaking for them. They are musicians that never went to university. They are musicians that were dealing in drugs. They are musicians that have tattoo all over their body, singing songs about sex, about women. Those are the people that are speaking for them, speaking for African America in America when it comes to political decisions. It is the same horrible thing that they want to introduce to us in Yoruba land, whereby illiterate Yoruba who are actors or musicians will speak for the collective good of the Yoruba nation. We reject that totally. We reject it completely. These horrible evils who first went to Killers Club in Victoria Island to have the meeting to plan the protest, after they were declined, they went to Troy Restaurant, and after which they met and decided to appoint David Adeleke to lead their team. Many of you might not know why they have appointed David Adeleke. David Adeleke, who you popularly known as Davido, you know, he has a very terrible voice. When he speaks, his voice is like that of a frog. I don't know why people listen to the idiots. But you know why they have chosen this guy? His father is half Yoruba, half Igbo. David Adeleke's mother is a full-blooded Yoruba woman. So they gave back to David Adeleke, who is Davido, you call him Davido. David Adeleke is 75% Igbo. He only has 25% Yoruba blood. He is not a Yoruba citizen. You know, he married a full-blooded Yoruba woman, and they have a son. They named that child Ifeanyi. That's an Igbo name. You think he's making a mistake? No. Ifeanyi is 100% Igbo blood. Davido is 75% Igbo blood. His wife is 100% full Igbo woman. So their son is Ifeanyi. That was why he gave him that name. Davido is not a Yoruba citizen. He's 75% Igbo. He agreed to work on the project for a reason. From our findings, he said at the meeting in which Azika represented him, he said because the Lagos state government under Governor Sanwo-Olu denied him the use of Atlantic Hall, the new stage called Atlantic Energy Stage, because the governor of Lagos State denied him that, he provided money for the attack in Lagos State on private properties, particularly that of Tinubu and Governor Sanwo-Olu, simply because he was disallowed from using the Atlantic Energy Stage. He was also part of those who provided money for the assassination attempt on the governor of Osun State. Davido, you might not know, during the course of these briefings, which is going to be daily until the foreseeable future, we were able to track down some of his classmates at Oakwood University in Alabama, the United States of America. We were told that he was a very poor boy academically. That university is owned by Black Seventh-day Adventist Church. Because of his poor academic background at that university, his half Yoruba, half Igbo father removed him to Babcock, where he was allowed to graduate. Davido is involved in money laundering. He is the one that launders money for the PDP politicians, particularly those in Igbo land and some Yoruba PDP members. Like I said to you, he has been alleged as part of those who provided funding for the attack on the governor of Osun State. That was why this stupid boy, Davido, who is working for the Igbo, is 75% Igbo. We will make sure we undermine his career across Yoruba land. You are done for, believe you me, Davido. He was the man that provided the funding, along with other Igbo artists like Don Jazzy, Rugged Man, and the rest of them, for the attack on properties across Lagos State. Davido was selected to give a false narration that is Yoruba, but it's not Yoruba. Davido is 75% Igbo blood. That was why he went to Abuja to meet with the Inspector General of Police and gave 3 ridiculous, stupid, useless demands. That the police salary should be increased. Police officers and men are members of the public service. They are like the teachers working in public schools, like common civil servants working across secretariats of the federal government. The police and other civil service earn the same level of salaries and allowances. You will imagine that if the police are not well paid, they have the Police Service Commission to complain to, they can go on strike. So why would this stupid Igbo, led by Davido, be asking for police salaries and allowances to be increased as part of the reason why they are out protesting in public? Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. Why would they be out on the street protesting HenSAS for families who have lost their loved ones to be so compensated? Why would they be on the streets saying that protesters who have been arrested be released? Is that the reason why people should go to the street? These are not legitimate demands. If you want SARS to end, you have to end unitary system. If you end unitary system and we go back to regional system of government, then there will be reduction of police brutalities because each regions will control their own policing. But we have unending police brutality, mainly in Yoruba land, because 80% of the police officers and men working in Yoruba land are not Yoruba people. So the EndSARS is a game of the Igbo to help the minority Fulani to remain in power. That was why they came out with a gimmick that the EndSARS was planned by Tinubu. It was never planned by Tinubu because Yoruba land is an illiterate society. They tell you stupid, horrible things and you accept that. Now, during the course of their meetings, Banky W, Rude Boy, DJ Biggie, Timmy Dakolo, Asa Asika, you guys have been marked, believe you me. Deji Adeyanju, and the rest of them, they divided Lagos into the following areas. Lekki is 90% Igbo dominated area, and we will reduce that. Jakonde Estate, now called the Smelling Estate, is also dominated by the Igbo. But Victoria Island is 90% Yoruba, except in 1004 areas where Igbo are living, and they have destroyed that estate. You cannot buy properties in Victoria Island if you are not Yoruba. Many of you don't know this. All of you that are saying, oh, people are selling their property. This is a fact. Victoria Island is 90% Yoruba people living there. Osapa, London, Igbo F1 area, VGC, and Ajah are predominantly Yoruba area. These Yoruba dominated areas were earmarked for attacks by these Igbo who held their meeting at Troy restaurant owned by two Lebanese who were funding the protests. They are not only funding the protests, they have always been funding the PDP, particularly the PDP in Yoruba land. So all manners of foreigners desire to take over Yoruba land from us who are full-blooded Yoruba citizens. So all of these people that I've mentioned, they segregated mainland, so to say, into areas that has to be attacked. Where there are Igbo-dominated area, they don't attack those places. True, Davido, completely irresponsible young man, very, very poor academically. And let me use this opportunity to say to you folks, Yoruba people, we are not African Americans. We are the majority in Nigeria. African Americans are minority in the United States. African America, they use music as a way to get out of poverty because they are minority. And their music oftentimes are shit. It's all about drug. It's all about women. It's all about sex. That's what they do. Compared with what white Americans musicians are into, there's a huge difference. So young Yoruba that are thinking like African America, who are doing horrible song, getting into music industry to get out of poverty, you're being ridiculous. We are the majority in Nigeria. It is people like Fulani, Awusa, Kanuri, Igbo, who should look up to music as a way to get out of poverty, not Yoruba people. Because we Yoruba in Nigeria, we are the Caucasian of Nigeria. We are the majority and the economic backbone of that country. Go and listen to Davido's interview, the way this stupid boy talks. He's got a very, very terrible voice, like a frog, because he's 75% Igbo. Listen to Whiskey talks. Listen to other Yoruba musicians. Listen to Olamide talks. They have the finest of voices, not horrible 75% Igbo blood Davido, who turned the genuine aspiration of the young Yoruba people for the devolution of power through the NSAS protest. Stupid Davido and his Igbo crew, they turned that protest into a carnival with ridiculous demand. The involvement of Nnamdi Kanu is all known to you. But this is how it started. It was Ike Ekerimandu who ensures that Nnamdi Kanu uses his IPOB members across Yoruba land to get involved in the NSAS protest. Nnamdi Kanu was not originally involved in that protest. The protest was coordinated by Banky W, Rude Boy, DJ Biggie. Banky W, we're going to deal with you. Mark it down. We know you are from Ekiti State. Timi Dakolo, Asa Asika, DJ Adeyanju, Babatunde, Badamosi. They were the people who coordinated the NSAS protest, targeted at Tinubu. And after talks, the involvement of Nnamdi Kanu through Ike Ekerimandu to activate their plan for military takeover. Igbo are working with Fulani, they will always work with the Fulani. I think one of my videos that I made in 2017 is trending. Igbo, a clear and present danger in Yoruba land. That video was made in 2017. People should go and watch that. The Igbo are working with the Fulani under the instruction of Nnamdi Kanu. The immigrant Igbo in Yoruba land destroyed several private and Lagos state government properties. This was never the desire of the young Yoruba for freedom. We've always been calling out people for organized violence to destroy the Yoruba infrastructure that has been seized by the federal government. It is very clear. We have no interest in damaging private properties or Lagos state government properties. It was never part of the first phase of organized violence. Apapa Wharf belonged to the Yoruba nation. In 1975, Apapa Wharf was built in 1913, before Nigeria was created. Apapa Wharf was refurbished in 1950 by Awolowo. Apapa Wharf was seized from the Yoruba nation in 1975 by Muritala Muhammad, a Fulani man. It turned our port into federal government assets. That is why today you go to Apapa Wharf, it is Igbo and Fulani that are controlling that port. Yoruba, the owner of the port, are the one doing Ala-Aru in that port. Tinker Port was built with the revenue generated from Yoruba land. It was appropriated by the federal government. The stock exchange in Lagos was established on the 15th of September 1960 by Yoruba people who are agriculturalists, industrialists, and stockbrokers. They gave the name Lagos Stock Exchange. That is why when you come to London, it is not called United Kingdom Stock Exchange, it is called London Stock Exchange. It was established by English people. If you go to America, they call their own New York Stock Exchange, not American Stock Exchange. Fulani appropriated that stock exchange from the Yoruba and changed the name to Nigeria Stock Exchange. It was established as Lagos Stock Exchange. Muritala Muhammad Airport was built with the money of the Yoruba people. It was called Lagos Stock Exchange. Awusa Fulani appropriated it as a federal government asset and changed the name to Muritala Mohammed. These were Yoruba property, collectively owned by Yoruba people, but they were taken away from us and appropriated by the federal government. If we shut them down, Nigeria will unravel, because more than 60% of the wealth that is going to the federal government coming from that area alone. Collectively, Yoruba alone contribute 49% of the revenue of the federal government. The people of South contribute 44%. The remaining 7% is coming from Hausa Fulani 2.5%, the Middle Belt 2%, Igbo 1.5%, and Kanuri 1%. We are saying that this unitary system cannot continue. That's why we are asking people to destroy the infrastructure that I've so mentioned. We've never stated that people should destroy private properties. It was never part of the Young Yoruba for Freedom Phase 1 campaign, which has begun now. We expected this to have started when Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, but it is fine. As a result of the EndSARS protest planned by Igbo, in which they used horrible soul called Davido as their front guard, the protest was taken over by Igbo with the working knowledge of the Fulani. Ike Ekerimandu instructed Nnamdi Kanu to allow them to use some of his IPOP boys to destroy private properties across Lagos. That was what they've done. The immigrant Igbo destroyed all the Yoruba business and private interests in Lagos, including the Palace of Oba of Lagos, and I will address that tomorrow in my next briefing. They destroyed GTB Bank because GTB Bank is a Yoruba bank. They destroyed several of their branches. They went down to Lekki Tollgate and burned it down. These are private interests that were never part of the purview of the agitation of the Young Yoruba for freedom. They might have to come on second phase, but they were not part of the first phase, because immigrant Igbo took advantage of the protest on the instruction of Ike Ekerimandu to Nnamdi Kanu, who instructed his followers to destroy private properties across Yoruba land. They went to the Oyinbo BRT terminal and burned down the buses and the garage. They did the same thing at Ojodu BRT terminal. They destroyed it. They went to Baga BRT terminal. They burned it down. They went to the TVC, which belonged to Tinubu, and destroyed it. They went to Oregun Recreation Center. They destroyed it. Igbo people. Because of the fact that I told you that Davido was not allowed to use the Eco-Atlantic energy stage that was newly built. He was part of those who instruct some of Nnamdi Kanu boys to attack Sanwo-Olu's mother's house. They also attacked Sanwo-Olu's uncle's house. King's College Lagos was destroyed. Ibejuleki local government development area destroyed. And if you have watched some of our videos, we specifically stated that if the federal government thinks that we cannot bring down Apapa Wharf, Tinker Port, Lagos Stock Exchange, Lagos International Airport, if they think that we cannot bring it down and then deploy soldiers, which they did in 2017, in fact, some of you might recollect, they actually deployed Hausa Fulani and Igbo soldiers into these infrastructures when we said we're going to blow them up if we do not go back to regional government. We specifically stated to you that our second phase will be the destruction of local government across Lagos. We stated that. We told you that there are 57 local governments that every day on a daily basis will start blowing up one at a time. And I said that in that video, that by the time we have gone on for 30 days within, which means that 30 local governments in Lagos State must have been blown up, that the federal government of Nigeria will want to negotiate. that it will be beyond negotiation at that point in time. The destruction of local governments were actually part of second phase of our campaign. That if we are unable to destroy the first phase, Apapa Wharf, Tinker Port, Lagos Stock Exchange, and Lagos International Airport, we will destroy the local governments across Lagos State, and we will be destroying supermarkets. These are the stages. And we have not enlisted the Igbo to help us to do this. And we've been very open and clear to you that we have good relationship with Ijaw people. It doesn't mean that we don't fight the Ijaw people. When they attack Ishekiri, we attack them back, because it's all about self-preservation. Even though we have good relationship with Ijaw, we have been to war with them. If they come and itch to claim Ishekiri land, we attack them. And I can tell you for a fact, I saw the video of Tombolo, because I've worked with Tombolo before, I told you. I saw his video yesterday being circulated that he has come out of his hiding. So I called my contact, Ricky. I call him Ricky Baba. I called him and he said to me that Tombolo has just been freed by the courts. But it was Wike and Okowa and other South governors who helped him, because they feel that 2023 will be very tough. And I asked them, why are they helped now? Why is Tombolo helped from the Greeks? He told me that they have come to worship their God, their own traditional God, because there will be war in 2023. And believe you me, he said that their immediate target is the Igbo. They have deep-seated hatred for Nnamdi Kanu. And these were people that I've worked with, that I've seen, that we've met, we've enjoyed life together with, that I told them that Jonathan will lose the election because he has acted very irresponsibly by not devolving power to the region, that is pandering to the dictate of the Igbo and Fulani, and he's a very fearful man. We all knew when Obama said he's going to kill Jonathan with radioactive material if he doesn't allow Buhari to be president. We all knew all of this game at that time, which we agreed. So they are now saying to me that Tombolo is out to worship their God and for military exercise because they are preparing for war. What I said to them is that, look, you have always fought for the dictate of the Fulani, and they swore. They swear to me that no, they are not going to fall for the dictate of the Fulani, but they have deep-seated hatred for the Igbo. Igbo, you are in for a rude shock, I can tell you that. But currently, we are not working with this Ijaw, no. Yesterday, when I spoke to this guy, and I said to him, if I could have Tombolo on record, he said to me, Tombolo is going back into the creeks, so I won't be able to speak to the guy. But I respect these people very well. But I will use this opportunity to warn them again that they shouldn't go near Ishekiri land. We will fight over it again. So to continue with the destruction of the Igbo in Lagos, they destroyed Ibejuleki local council development area. They went into Lagos Island local government and destroyed it. They destroyed Ajeromi local government. They went into Lagos Island local government, destroyed it. They destroyed Lagos East local government. They went into Access Bank branches and destroyed. They are not destroying their own banks. You know, they have banks. They went to Country Hospital. They destroyed it, and several private properties. They even moving down to the supermarket and start destroying them. So that was what they did with the express permission of Nnamdi Kanu under the instruction of Ike Ekeremandu, who is sitting in your National Assembly today. They cannot deny this. But while they were destroying our businesses in our own home, Igbo business interests were all left intact, including their trade fair complex where they are doing their business. Ladipo market left intact. Masamasa market left intact. Jibowu market completely untouched. Ido market never destroyed. Alaba market intact. The computer village in Ikeja and several others Igbo business interests and properties across Yoruba land were left. And I've said to the people, Lekki is 90% Igbo dominated area. It has been earmarked for total destruction. You see, it is Yoruba land, it is ours. We control it. we will control our space. Folks, let me quickly remind you about the actions of the Igbo. This is a well-coordinated action. Nnamdi Kanu is working for Fulani. Showore is working for Fulani. And then I was laughing at one of the Oba of Osun State coming out. He said, if you have seen that video, he said Showore is not Yoruba, that the Yoruba, you should not allow Showore to push them for the destruction of their space. When we have been saying to the young Yoruba for years that Showore is an Ijaw citizen. Where Showore is living in Ondo State is not Ijaw land. They just moved there and we ignore them. Showore is not a Yoruba, it's an Ijaw. We said this. I have series of arguments with Ijaw who are my friend when I was attacking Showore in 2015, 2019 as well. And I said to them, look, are you stupid? We're friends, but personal relationship cannot supersede national interest. Showore is Ijaw. They wanted me to keep quiet about that. I said, why should I keep quiet? Because you're my friend. At the expense of my own descendant. No. We went very hard on Showore because it's an Ijaw citizen. So the Oba from Osun State, I hope people can get the video and you show it to them. He said categorically that Showore is not an Ijaw. But why are they not talking about that now, rather than for them to speak reasonably? I am going to address tomorrow the inaction of the Lagos State governor and the past statement of Oba of Lagos. His palace has been destroyed. You remember, he said something about who owns Lagos some time ago. I will speak about that yesterday. He misled the Yoruba youth. Now, the people that he claimed own Lagos, are they the people helping him out now? It is the Yoruba that are shouting scarrilege. With what? With the destruction of his palace. But we will talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow in our next briefing. So, folks, let me quickly recap your mind to what happened before now. Many of our generation and the majority of the Yoruba who are still on the street protesting against NSAS, you are our children. You are in your teenage years, many of you. So, like we, your parents, we did not witness what happened in the 60s. What the Igbo and Fulani did to the Yoruba in the 60s, we did not witness it. Some of us who witnessed what the Igbo and Fulani did to us in the 90s during this June 12 struggle are alive today to recount this. The destruction of Lagos by immigrant Igbo was exact thing they did in the 60s. They hated Awolowo so much that they waited for the English to leave in 1960 October 1. The moment the English left, in 1962, they arrested Awolowo, put him in prison for 10 years. This led to protests across Yoruba land, like you are having NSAS protests. And what did they do? Colonel Kaduna Eziogu, an Igbo man, with my Mallory, a Fulani man, were given order by Tafawa Balewa and Zik to kill any Yoruba on the street protesting. 14,528 Yoruba people were killed. I wasn't born then, but we read this. Many of you protesting on the street, you have no knowledge of this. This is what we're trying to impart on you. That happened in the 60s. After the killings of 14,528 Yoruba people, what did they do? You know, they put Awolowo in prison, then they killed Yoruba people protesting. Then in 1966, they went and killed your sitting prime minister, Akintola. See, that is it. But they've got it wrong this time. Their intention was to put Tinubu in prison under Jonathan presidency. Tinubu helped Jonathan to be president twice. So Jonathan then arrested him, took him to the conduct, bureau of conduct or something like that, code of conduct. But Tinubu won that case. They wanted to implement the same thing they did in the 60s. Put Tinubu in prison, then kill the Yoruba people, then take over Yoruba. That was what they did in the 60s. Put Awolowo in prison, kill 14,528 Yoruba, then kill our prime minister, sitting premier, then took over Yoruba. Do you understand the game? They repeated the same thing in the 90s. Put Abiola in prison, then kill 16,000 Yoruba who were protesting on the street between 1993 to 1998. Who were killing them? Igbo police and soldiers, as well as Hausa Fulani police and soldiers. They killed 16,000 Yoruba people, then assassinated Abiola's wife. You know, they also killed Awolowo's son. Then they killed Abiola and took over Yoruba land via Obasanjo, who is an Igbo man. It is the same script. But unfortunately for them, this generation has woken up. So what they have done, we will not allow what happened in the 60s and in the 90s to happen to our own generation. In the 60s, the young Yoruba of the era did not issue an ultimatum to the Igbo to leave Yoruba land. In the 90s, the young Yoruba of that era did not issue an ultimatum for the Igbo to leave Yoruba land. We of this generation cannot repeat the same mistake. I once told you that when the English went to China to colonize them, they first seized Hong Kong from them. 3 different generations of the Chinese fought Sorry about that. Are you still with us? Okay. Sorry about this. Like I said to people, when the English went to Hong Kong and took over that space from the Chinese, 3 different generations of the Chinese fought the English. 3 times they were defeated. It was the 4th generation of the Chinese that defeated the English in 1982 and took Hong Kong back into part of China. Our generation cannot repeat the mistakes of the past. We have 2 enemies, but our number 1 enemy is the Igbo, and we must deal with them. The young Yoruba for freedom and all the young Yoruba full-blooded, we are paying on the killings of our people and the destructions of private properties across Yoruba land, but in particular in Lagos by the Igbo. We're paying about this. However, we will not lose focus on the big prize, the Oduduwa Republic. At this point in time, let me say clearly that America does tic-tac against our enemies. If you try nonsense with the good people of the United States, they will treat your fuck up. They don't do forgiveness. Israel, Russia, France, even here in England, they do tit for tat. That is called diplomacy, reciprocity. They don't forgive their enemies. And I've said to you that as individuals, you have the strength of character to forgive and forget what your enemy might have done to you as individual, but as a nation, a collective of people, you do not forgive as a nation. Igbo have their own clearly defined space. They ought to have moved down to Igbo land to plan their own handsars. But no, they organize themselves in our own space, plan to destroy our land, plan to destroy our political leaders. They destroy Awolowo, calling him tribalist, and put him in prison for 10 years. They destroy Abiola, calling him an Islamist, put him in prison for 5 years, and assassinated his wife and Abiola. They destroy Olufalaye, calling him a militarist. They destroy his farm. They destroy his name. Their next candidate is Tinubu. Our generation must learn from the Caucasian in America, from the Jew, from Russians, from the English, from the French. All of these people believe in tit for tat. They do not forgive their enemies because they know that if they do, the enemy will feel emboldened to mess with them again. National security and protection of citizens means everything to these nations. If any country does anything to American interests, America will fire them. The young Yoruba for freedom, on behalf of the 30 million Yoruba youth, has today given a 48 hours ultimatum to all the Igbo throughout Yoruba land to leave. From Monday, 26 October 2020, we will close all the roads, stop all the vehicles in Yoruba land, and every Igbo national will be dealt with accordingly. We are kind enough to give you 48 hours time to pack your things and move to your own region peacefully. Do not say we did not warn you. Pack your things and go back to your region. We don't want any Igbo national anymore in Yoruba land. You have been warned. It is on record that there is no single Yoruba group who has ever issued an ultimatum to anyone in Yoruba land to leave. We are very clear with the intention of the Gbagi people, who are the owner of Abuja as the indigenous people of that space. We recollect how the Awusa have issued you ultimatums several occasions. We know the recent one that has been issued to you in Abuja, and you behave yourself. I want to say this to you. It has been the toughest moment of the YYF for us to have meetings with people that makes decisions in that space. The 48 hours ultimatum that we have given to the Igbo people across Yoruba land starts from today. It will end on Sunday. By Monday evening, the 26th of October, we will stop all vehicles hunting for Igbo. You have been warned. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.